Hey, and welcome to the very first Joe Gomez jazz guitar lesson. Uh, we're going to start with the very basics of what I think that every guitar player that wants to get into jazz should know and should really have under their fingers, and that would be triads. So I'm going to have the first few lessons only be on triads, and work on voice leading with triads, which is what I just demonstrated, and improvising with triads. And it sounds really strange, but it makes a lot of sense when we really start to get into it. We really see how the guitar works and how it functions, and we'll also learn how music kind of works together. Um, we start to make a little bit of sense of it, and it really wasn't until I really got into working with triads um, and understanding everything. That's when my playing really went to the next level, and I think it will with you guys too. So let's get on with the lesson. So um, some of you may have recognized what part of the song I just played. For you that don't know, it's okay. It was the first 16 bars to Autumn Leaves, which I think is a really great song to start with, especially to get into jazz. Um, everybody knows it and everybody plays the tune. So, I would definitely kind of seek it out. Um, but the chords to the song, we're in G minor. The chords of the song are C minor, F7, B flat major, E flat major, A half diminished, D7, and then G minor, and G minor again, and then that pattern repeats itself. I did change one thing on the eighth measure. Instead of playing another G minor, I played a G major triad or a G7 to just turn us back around to the C. So since we're talking about voice leading, what is voice leading? Basically, all it is it's just getting from one chord to the next in the most logical way that makes sense. And it, the reason for it is it just sounds a lot nicer and it's very smooth. Um, if you kind of remember what I played versus this. Yeah, it's the same thing harmonically, but it doesn't sound as good as. Um, and another reason we're using triads is for beginners. You can definitely hear the harmony a lot better than you can with seventh chords, at least to me. Um, um, it's definitely another reason to do this. So anyway, uh, back to voice leading. So basically, how we do this is we're going to find common tones between what chord we're at and the one that we're going to. So for our very first chord, we have a C minor triad, which has the notes C, E flat, and G. We're going to an F7 or an F major triad, which has the notes F, A, and C in it. So C is our common tone, so no, we don't have to move that. We have this E flat here, and since we're moving to F major, the most logical choice would just move that up to an F. And the same thing with this G, just move it up to an A. And kind of repeat the pattern going through all of them. And you can do this in any position too, or any string group. If I start here, this would be a first inversion, minor triad. So you could start anywhere on any of the inversions. If you're not very good with triads, there's a few ways to practice this. And the first way would to be just take a root note and turn it into every triad you can. There's only really four. There's major, minor, augmented, and diminished. So we take this C in the root. This is just a major triad. Make that minor. You can make it augmented. You can make it diminished. Some people like that way. I personally don't. The way that I learned to get everything under my fingers was doing one triad at a time, dedicating some time to it, and learning it on all the string groups, and then working through the cycle of fours. So these are all C major triads with the root and the bass. Do the same thing with F. That's the way that I learned. And there is one other way that you could do that, and that's running through the whole scale. This is like a C major scale, and trying to use good voice leading, going to different chords, rather than just going. That works, but it's not necessarily the best voice leading. So you could try some different ways with that, or you could just apply it to whatever songs you're working on, which is what I do now. Whenever I sit down to learn a song, this is the very first step that I do. Is I play the entire song in triads using good voice leading. And what I've really noticed is songs that I don't solo very well over, if I start to practice it this way, my soloing just gets better. And the reason I think that is because I'm seeing how the music wants to move, and I see what notes are pulling to one another. It's like if you take the first two measures, C minor to F major. One thing I could do is, that makes sense. And you make these little small lines doing that, and you can do that across the whole song. And we'll get more into that with the next lesson. That'll be on improvising with triads. So if you have any questions for me or anything, feel free to send me a message or email, and I hope you enjoyed this lesson on triads.